Well, let's start with H for hands. What can I tell about you by looking at your palms?
Sorry, Stephen, why did you say it like that? Really strange. Hands.
What? Just to emphasise it begins with H.
Like we were so under any illusion that hands started with anything else. Hands.
I was just being helpful.
Subtitles for the hard of
Remember who
thinking.
you're sitting next.
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Hands, dear.
Hands.
Yes, look, at the end of your arms. So, settling down, what can you tell about someone from their palms?
Oh, how long they're going to live, whether they're going to get married, how many
Future.
children they're going to have.
Can you...
He started it. I just joined in.
Maybe we'll halve the forfeit between you.
Oh, I can't believe I get it.
But no, empirically, and obviously it's never been proved that any such thing could ever be demonstrated by looking at your palms. But there are things you can tell them.
Forgive me, you say it's never been proved.
Yeah.
But there are people who feel they've done it.
Well, yeah, feeling you've done something is not quite the same as empirical scientific... Thank God you're out of government.
They sweat, that's all they do.
Well,
To varying degrees.
But they have ridges. We'll ignore the lines of palmistry for the moment, but there is such a thing as palm diagnosis. There is a way of finding out predispositions towards rather important and life-threatening, happiness-threatening illnesses. Who...
Oh, so it actually will spell something. You're going to...
Alphabetic. You're going to D.
And where do we see this? Where does this
Do they
happen?
swell up? Do they go
The
red?
ridges of the palms.
The ridges?
Who was responsible for discovering fingerprints? He was a very famous scientist called Francis Galton, whose name was rather ruined by the fact that he believed in eugenics, which was rather discredited.
That's always
but
a shame.
It is a bit, yes. But he also noted the ridges and whorls on the palm. And then 30 years later, in the 1920s, it was discovered that those with Down syndrome have completely different palms from anyone else. And then by the 1960s, at least 20 conditions were shown to present themselves on the palms.
Look how gullible we are, we're just like this, Giles and I like that.
Yeah.
Heal us!
You can also...
Make us whole again!
There are also indications...
Tip us!
We work for food!
Yeah.
But going back, if I may, to palmistry, all I will say is this, that you dismiss palmistry, but there were people 100 years ago, perhaps the wisest people of the time, who consulted palmists.
Indeed they were, including, of course, our mutual
Our
hero.
mutual friend, Oscar Wilde, but Mark Twain did.
Mark Twain, yeah.
Queen Victoria, I think, did.
massive,
Edward VII
Gladstone.
did. And they...
Who was the palmist they consulted?
They consulted a man, Oscar Wilde certainly consulted a man called Cairo, based on...
Cairo from...
Cairo from the Greek meaning hand.
But his real name was?
His real name was William Warner.
You're right, there he is. He was Irish.
He was Irish, and his great-great-grandson's brother married Elizabeth Taylor, Senator Warner. But that's just incidental.
That's good to know, yeah. He also called himself Count von Hamon. But no, that's a really good answer on William Warner, and that's superb to hear. Splendid answers all round. Thank you very much. The fact is, palmistry won't tell you your future, but it can tell you your past in the form of genetic markers that were set down while you were in the womb. Somebody playing with me.
It sort of looks funny
There
what
is
you're doing.
a piece of wire. I've been goosed by the palm of a skeleton.
I've been sitting there for 10 minutes thinking, when shall I do it? When shall I do it?
Thank
They're
you.
talking about palms. It should be now. It should be now. Hey!
You see? It had to end. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
You just don't know your age.
Sorry. Keith, man, my head's come off.
Oh, my heavens. Thank
Wow.
Right, just imagine
That'll
that.
do it.
Carry on, carry on.
They actually look a little bit like the cheeky girls.
you. They do. Yes.